So since today's TEDx is about hidden currents, there must be some guy talking about AI, because AI is everywhere, yeah? I can't hear it anymore. If you don't use AI, your job will be replaced, they say. Or maybe they say, your job will not be replaced by AI, but by some guy using AI. But if you're like me, and you think, yeah, this is another AI spare talk, it's not like that. Hear me out. I will share some personal insights backed by research, but most of all, this talk is also about you. So I invite you to play the 10 fingers game, which works like this. Yeah, you hold up your 10 fingers if you're watching at home on YouTube or here live on the stage. And now you can take one finger down if you have ever used a large language model like ChatGPT or Grok, perhaps to look up the meaning of a word, or to help you draft an email, or to support you on an application, to generate pictures, to give you emotional support in a challenging situation. Take a finger down if you have ever used it to go through a business case, perhaps crunch the numbers, to get advice on cooking. Maybe you've looked up a recipe, to write a profile on a social media platform, to look up information for which you would have previously used a search engine like Google, or to summarize a study or PDF. And bonus question, if you have used it to prepare your TEDx talk. So if you look around now, it's quite difficult to spot someone who still has 10 fingers. I can't see anyone. So I think I made my point. We all use AI. So therefore, using AI will not give you the edge. I think it's rather the opposite. Using your brain more and AI less, or perhaps more specific, is what will give you the advantage. So, for example, when we've been reviewing the applications for our Young Leader Camp training program, we've received hundreds of applications from all over the country. Many of them were strikingly similar. And on one particular free response question, which you see here on the slide, which was, if you could design and run a camp from scratch, what would it be about? Yeah, we really wanted to find out what people are passionate for, what they burn for. Many of the responses were strikingly similar, and a lot of them, they were quite vague and generic. For example, like this one. Dreaming big, innovators in action camp, empowering youth with practical skills in innovation in a serene, eco-friendly location in Arusha. Design thinking, environmental sustainability, digital skills, and entrepreneurship. Hands-on workshop, team challenges, and mentorship. Interactive sessions in an impactful, community-driven project which fosters collaboration among future change makers. Sounds amazing, yeah? But can anybody tell me what this camp is about exactly, apart from keywords? And we didn't just receive one of these. We had so many of them, these eco camps in a scenic location, or this 3D printing, innovative technologies, hands-on, team building. There were so many of them. I didn't want to list all of them. But to make the work easier for my team, which reviewed the applications, I came up with a game called ChatGPT Camp Bingo. So it works like this, yeah? You have this bingo card, and then whenever you see one of the catchwords, you tick them off. And as soon as you're 5 in a row, you call bingo. No, but what's going on here? So basically people, they have an idea of a camp, they write a line, and then the AI will generate a prompt for them. And we, on the other hand, we try to figure out what was the initial prompt, because that's what we want to know. Whether people said, write me a camp about gender equality, about STEM, about youth, yeah? And for now, we had only a couple hundred of applications, so we could do that manually. But as soon as it reached the thousands, we will have to use an AI to decode what the others got from their AI. which basically is a zero-sum game. So we have this human input, which goes through an AI funnel and gets distorted in a longer, more generic way. And we try to get back to the actual human input. Yeah. But I have encountered this not only in the professional setting. For example, also in online dating. So on the left, you see a screenshot where I asked the girl, what makes you the most happy? And she responded with something really nice in English. I value connection, blah, 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 blah. And then I enjoy, square brackets open, mention 1 to 2 interests, square brackets closed. So directly from ChatGPT, let's copy it in here. Don't even read it, because I'm sure ChatGPT says it's good. She didn't even bother to mention her interests. And you still see the quotation marks from the ChatGPT prompt. And to make it worse, she submitted another one, like more is better, yeah? Not really. And on the left, you see a profile. I've seen so many of these. Like, here are 2 profile examples in English based on different styles. Example 1, example 2. And this is not just single examples, there are so many. And this one is actually even more interesting. So I asked her something similar. If you could wish for anything, what would you wish for, yeah? And she responded something very eloquent and smart in English. And then below in Swahili, hii inaonyesha utu wako, inafungua mazungumzo, na pia inamrudisha swali ili aendelee kuzungumza. Which kind of translates to something like, this shows your humanity, it opens the conversation, and it gives him back the question so he can respond. I responded also something very nice in English, and below I said, hii inaonyesha umemtumbua mtu mwingine ametumia AI kama ChatGPT na umefahamu hana akili. So this is my human-written feedback for the AI usage. And funny enough, when I do this, half of them, they immediately block me, which is fine. And with the other half, I get a nice conversation going. What does it mean to be human? And yeah. But really, I'm thinking about sending everybody a captcha before they interact with me. So like this one, you select all the adult cats on it. And by the way, according to this captcha, I'm not a human, because which one of the adults, I don't know. But yeah, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, I've seen ChatGPT everywhere. I've seen it in university presentations. I've had teachers coming to me saying, because they know I have a thing for maths, Yanis, can you help me to solve question number 4 in my maths test, which I just gave to my student? My first question is, did you use ChatGPT? Yes. Okay. Then question 4 is, simplify the following equation. But there is no equation, there is just a fraction. What can I simplify here? And they tell me, no, I'm sure you're so good at maths. Can you just solve it? But it's already solved. And this happens all the time. And this leads to the question, what's going on here below the surface, below the ice? And to be honest, I don't think anybody really knows, because ChatGPT is a quite recent phenomenon. It has been released to the public in November 2022, and it spread faster than anything we had before, faster than the automobile, the telephone, the internet. For comparison, here we have the 2 most viral apps of our time. Instagram. It took Instagram 2.5 years to reach 100 million users. TikTok, only 9 months. And ChatGPT, just 2 months, 100 million users. Bam, it spreads like fire. But we don't know what it actually does to us. Well, there is some limited research. For example, this one. You can look up the paper on brainonllm.com. It's also very nice with images and videos. Yeah, it's an MIT study where they basically, what they did is they took 54 students and they had them write essays of 20 minutes each in 3 to 4 sessions. And during the essays, they tracked their brain activity with EEGs. And now the catch is they were split into 3 groups. The first group could use ChatGPT as much as they want to write their essay. The second group could only use a traditional search engine like Google. And the third group, well, it was called brain only because they were only allowed to use their brain. So if we compare the brain images, we see that here on the right, we have the brain-only group, where there are a lot of colors on the image, which in layman terms means there is a lot of connectivity going on in the brain. There is a lot of talking between the different parts of the brain whilst writing the essay. In the middle, we have the search engine group. There is also color to be seen, but it's more specific. But also there is a lot of connectivity. And in the last, the LLM group, it's the least colorful, which doesn't surprise you so much. I mean, it doesn't surprise me because you didn't use your brain so much to write the essay. But what's actually more interesting is right after the essay, the participants were asked in an interview to quote something from the essay. Anything, not the entire essay by heart, just to quote something from what they have submitted minutes earlier. And here we see the ability to quote. On the right, you have the brain-only group. In the middle, the search engine group. And on the left, the blank there, is the ability of the ChatGPT group to quote from the essay. So yeah, let that sink in. They write an essay with ChatGPT. They submit it. And minutes earlier, they don't really remember what they submitted. So if you outsource all the work to the AI, it doesn't transfer to the long-term storage of your brain because you did not use your brain to generate it. And to investigate this further, they did a fourth session where they swapped. So those who previously were allowed to use only their brain, they could revisit one of the previous topics by now also using ChatGPT, and vice versa. The ChatGPT group could revisit one of the previous topics, but only use their brain now. And what they found out is that the usage of the AI differed a lot. So the ChatGPT first group mainly used the AI to write the actual essay, to do the actual work. Whilst those who first engaged with their brain and then used the AI to support them, they mainly used it for information seeking and discussion. And this suggests, as the authors of the study conclude, that the timing of introducing AI might be important in a learning process or in childhood development or in a workflow. So the timing might be important. It doesn't say AI is bad or we should not use AI, or it also doesn't say that Frankenstein will come, this singularity AI monster that kills all of mankind. No. What it says is it says something about cognitive depth. So like technical depth, you save something now, but you do an ugly process and you will pay for it later. Cognitive depth is similar. So what happens here is you trade long-term productivity, long-term memory for short-term productivity. Yeah, so you're faster right now submitting the task, but later you don't remember it. And whilst this is already concerning in work, it's even more so in education. But please, if you go home, don't tell anybody, yeah, I was in this TEDx and I heard ChatGPT's brain rot, it damaged our brain. No, these words, they don't appear in the study. And we don't know anything like that. And also this one study which I quoted hasn't been peer-reviewed yet, and it has a very small sample size of 54 students. But what it shows clearly is that it would be very revealing to do more research on this topic. So if I zoom out in a larger context, what's going on here? So I think we could say that we lost the war on data to Google and Facebook, who own now most of our communication platforms and communication channels. And right now, we are losing the war on money to Strategy and BlackRock, who buy all the Bitcoin left on the exchanges. And the question that I want to ask is, will we, the people, also lose the war on intelligence to OpenAI, which, by the way, is not open at all, and the other companies, by feeding their models? Or will we, the people, retain the sovereignty over our intelligence? So what I would like you to take home is the next time you're about to use AI like ChatGPT, I want you to think twice whether you want to train your brain or the AI model. And how I usually approach this decision, because again, this is not black and white. AI is something cool, it's a tool, we can use it. Is if it's the first time I do something, I want to lean in. I want to use my brain. I want to explore the topic from all edges myself before I consult ChatGPT. But if it's something I've done 100 of times, yeah, sure, go ahead. Save that productivity, save that time, go ahead, use it. And you know, this kind of reminds me of a time 10 years ago. You see me here on the right. This was at the Junior European Championship in mental calculation. And you know, I enjoyed mental calculation, but people came to me and they said, why are you wasting your time with this? This is stupid. Everybody has a phone in the pocket. You can calculate everything you want. You don't need to practice this. And I couldn't really reason why I enjoyed it or why it was important to me. But as I noticed there that fewer and fewer people were able to actually do simple math calculations in their head, I nowadays realize the trend that fewer and fewer people are able to write eloquent or complete texts or even like draft an email which is more than one line without resorting to AI. And I find that concerning. I also like to use my brain and practice this skill because I don't want to outsource it to computers. So to close the arc, whilst AI is definitely not a hidden current at all, as we saw, we all use it, the hidden current below is the effects it has on our society, on our children, on our development, on our workflows, on the very definition of what it means to be human. So I hope that today I could spark a discussion on how AI and ChatGPT affects our lives. Thank you so much.